It happened on a Thursday. I remember that detail because Thursdays were always our social night. Dinner with his coworkers and their spouses, lots of smiling, lots of pretending. We were at some overpriced steakhouse downtown, the kind with dim lights and loud wine glasses, where you can't hear yourself think. Maybe that was the point. Jason was sitting next to me, laughing too loudly at some joke his boss told. His hand was resting on the table, fingers tapping the white linen like he was bored. And then, right in the middle of dessert, while everyone else was busy talking, I saw him slide his wedding ring off and slip it into his pocket like it was nothing. Like it was a coin he didn't need anymore. He didn't even glance at me. He just kept laughing, kept sipping his wine, kept being the charming man everyone thought he was. But I saw it. I felt it. And something in me, something buried and quiet, just cracked. I didn't say anything. I didn't storm out or cause a scene. That's not me. I smiled. I nodded. I even laughed when I was supposed to. I sat there and finished my meal, like a good little wife. But inside, I was done. We got home around 10. He went straight to the shower, said he was exhausted from dealing with Todd all day. I nodded, said nothing. I sat on the couch and stared at nothing for a long time. My phone buzzed twice. Some friend on Instagram tagging me in a photo from the night. I didn't look at it. I couldn't stop thinking about the way he did it. So casual, so clean. No hesitation. We've been married for 7 years. 7 years of birthdays, holidays, house projects, sick days, boring routines. And he took all of that and peeled it off his finger like a label off a bottle. I didn't cry. Instead, I logged into the smart home dashboard, the one I set up myself back when we moved in. Jason never cared to learn the system. Too complicated, he said. I started flipping through settings, lighting, security, temperature control, everything. Then I found the master power control, a failsafe feature, technically for emergencies, like a fire or flood, or betrayal. I didn't press anything that night. I just stared at it, memorized it. The next day, he left for an early client meeting. I waited exactly 12 minutes after he pulled out of the driveway. Then I turned it all off. Everything. The lights, the cameras, the locks, the charger for his precious electric car, the alarm system. Gone. Offline. Just like that. He took off his ring. I took off the electricity to his house. And that's just where I started. At dinner that night, even before he took off the ring, I knew something was wrong. I could feel it. Jason wasn't really with me. His smile was just a show. His arm around my chair was just for appearance. The way he leaned in toward the woman across the table, her name was Kelsey, I think, said more than he realized. He laughed at everything she said. His eyes stayed on her a little too long. When I spoke, he didn't respond. Sometimes he didn't even look at me. It was like I was background noise. A wall decoration. A purse he brought along by mistake. I noticed the way his hand kept brushing against hers when they reached for their glasses. I noticed the way he angled his body slightly away from me, like I was something embarrassing. All of it clicked together slowly, like puzzle pieces I didn't want to see. But I saw them. He was cheating. Or about to. Honestly, I think I already knew before that night. For the past few months, he'd been coming home late, always with the same excuse. Work's a mess right now, or Todd's screwing things up again. His phone was always face down, always locked. He used to show me funny memes or dumb things his coworkers said. Now, he acted like his phone was made of glass and I was holding a hammer. I stopped asking questions after a while, mostly because I already knew the answers. So when we got home that night and he said he had to head out again, just a networking thing last minute, I didn't argue. I smiled, told him good luck, even helped him find his keys. He didn't notice how calm I was. I waited until his taillights disappeared down the street. Then I grabbed my coat, took my car, and followed him. I didn't need to go far. He drove straight to a downtown hotel. Not even a fancy one, just average. The kind of place with carpet that smells like Febreze and silence that feels cheap. I parked across the street, sat in the dark, watched. A few minutes later, she pulled up. Kelsey, from dinner, still in the same dress. She walked right into the lobby. Jason met her there. No hesitation, no guilt. They went inside together. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't take pictures. I didn't even feel angry. It was like watching a movie I'd already seen. A boring one with bad writing. I just turned my car around and went home. Calm. Focused. He wanted to erase me. From his life. From his future. So I erased him first. People always joked that I was the tech one in the relationship. Jason couldn't even reset the Wi-Fi without asking me for help. When we moved into our house, I was the one who installed everything: smart lights, voice controls, cameras, alarms, thermostat, garage app, you name it. I even set up our banking alerts and managed his digital calendar. He never asked how any of it worked, just said, "You're better with this stuff than me," and let me handle it. So I did. And I never took my name off anything. Every smart device, every account, every piece of our digital life. It was all still under my control. I just let him think it ran on autopilot. The night after I saw him go into that hotel with her, I waited until he was out again. Same car, same excuse. He left the house like nothing had changed. Left me like nothing mattered. I pulled up the dashboard. One click, lights off. Next, cameras disabled. Internet gone. That part was especially satisfying. His whole world depended on being connected. He'd barely know how to send an email without me. Then I disabled the garage and front door lock access from his phone. He wouldn't even be able to get inside. I turned off the EV charger last, so when he came home, his precious electric car would be dead by morning. Let him try to find a charging station at 2 a.m. in our sleepy neighborhood. I even went further. Logged into his calendar and wiped everything. Meetings, reminders, saved notes. Gone. I changed all his app notifications to silent, so he'd miss any update. Then I reset his banking password and triggered the two-factor code to go to my number. I sent a fake fumigation notice from a dummy email account to the house's address. Claimed they'd be spraying the property for toxic mold, effective immediately. Any entry would be dangerous, maybe even illegal. I even made a fake city seal and slapped it on the PDF. He wouldn't know what hit him. All of it was legal. Every bit. The accounts were mine. The devices, purchased and registered by me. He never thought to change a single setting. He assumed I'd always be there to handle the background stuff. He was wrong. He wanted to forget our marriage. Toss it aside like a used receipt. I wanted him to feel me every time something didn't work. Every time his phone failed to open, or the lights stayed dark, or the garage wouldn't open. I wanted him to remember that every part of his perfect little life ran, because I made it run. And now I was unplugging him, piece by piece. Her name was Kelsey. She taught high school English at a private academy a few towns over, wore flowy blouses, quoted poetry on her Instagram, posted filtered selfies with captions like "Grateful heart, happy soul." She had no idea how easy she made it for me. It took me all of 10 minutes to download a dozen pictures of her from social media. Smiling in classroom, holding iced coffee, wearing low-cut tops in front of inspirational quotes. Perfect material. I made a profile on a dating site, one of those local hookup ones, where nobody really checks if you're real. Used her photos, picked a fake name, added some spicy lines in the bio, left the looking for section wide open. Within hours, messages started pouring in. Dozens of men, married ones, bored ones, gross ones, desperate ones. They all thought they were talking to Kelsey. I answered every message with flirty replies, enough to keep them engaged. I never sent anything too crazy, just enough for screenshots. Then I made a burner email and attached those screenshots to a message titled, "This is the woman teaching your kids." I sent it to her school principal, and the board, and a few parents' committee emails I found from the school newsletter. It didn't take long. 2 days later, Jason came home with his jaw clenched and shoulders tight, slammed his keys on the counter, said, "Kelsey's dealing with some crap at work. Apparently someone made a fake profile with her photos. Now there's an investigation." I blinked at him. "Oh no, that's awful. People are so creepy." He nodded, distracted, already texting. He didn't even look at me. His fingers were moving fast, like he was trying to fix something slipping through his hand. Kelsey was suspended for the time being. Administrative leave, they called it. Jason said she was freaking out, but I could tell he was the one unraveling. He couldn't protect her, couldn't control what was happening. And all the while, I just watched him. I made him coffee. I rubbed his shoulders. I asked if he was okay. I said all the right things a supportive wife says when her husband's friend is in trouble. He had no idea it was me. None. Not a single clue. He thought his affair was falling apart because of bad luck. Wrong place, wrong time. But I knew better. Kelsey tried to walk into my life wearing perfume and poetry. I introduced her to code and consequences. He started to suspect something when the garage stopped opening again. "The damn app isn't working," he said one morning, slamming the door harder than he needed to. "And my calendar's acting weird again. You sure nothing's wrong with the system?" I tilted my head, acted confused. "It's working fine for me." He stared at me like he wanted to say more, but didn't. Just mumbled something under his breath and left for work in a bad mood. The next time, he came home red-faced and tense. "My bank locked me out again. It's the third time this week. Are you messing with anything?" I blinked, slow and soft. "Of course not. Why would I do that?" "You tell me," he snapped. So I did what I knew would flip the script. I started to cry. I let my voice shake. I looked him dead in the eyes and said, "You think I have time to sit around sabotaging you while you're off, doing God knows what? Do you even hear yourself?" He looked unsure, suddenly quieter. I added, "Maybe it's just work stress. You've been overwhelmed lately. Maybe you're just forgetting things." That got him. He nodded, still frowning, but now unsure. "Yeah, maybe. I don't know." I gave him a hug. Soft, careful, like I forgave him for accusing me. He had no idea I was 5 steps ahead, because while he was losing track of his digital life, I was quietly backing everything up. I went through his old emails, his texts, his browser history, found hidden folders, deleted messages that weren't really deleted. He used the same 3 passwords for everything. Lazy. Predictable. I found the second email account he used to talk to Kelsey. Found older ones too. He wasn't just a one-time cheater. There were more. Messages from years back. Even one that said, "Don't worry, she never checks my stuff." He was right. Back then I didn't. Now, I had a folder labeled insurance, sitting on a drive he didn't know existed. Screenshots. PDF states. Receipts. Every piece of his lies lined up in neat order. I wasn't just reacting anymore. I was building something. A case. A pattern. A full picture of who he really was. And every time he accused me of messing with him, I made him feel crazy for thinking it. Gently. Sweetly. Like a concerned wife. He thought I was falling apart. But I was organizing. Filing. Preparing. He wanted to take control of the story. So I rewrote it with me as the narrator. And he didn't even know the chapter he was in. Jason's birthday landed on a Saturday that year. I made sure it started perfectly. I baked his favorite cake, chocolate with espresso frosting. Left it on the counter with a note that said, "Happy birthday, love." I even made coffee the way he liked it. No reason to tip him off. I wanted him calm, comfortable, completely unaware. He left for a gym session around 10 a.m. That gave me 2 hours. More than enough. I went to the bedroom closet and pulled out the small gift box I had prepared weeks ago. Black velvet. Simple. Inside, I placed his wedding ring. The one he had slipped off at dinner like it was too heavy to wear. It looked so small now, sitting alone. Next to it, I placed an envelope with the divorce papers, signed by me, ready for him to do the same. On top of it all, I added a small flash drive with a label, "Play Me." The drive had everything. Screenshots of his messages, hotel receipts, late-night calls to Kelsey and a few others, his other email account, the dating profiles, all of it sorted into neat folders. I left the box in the middle of the kitchen table. Then I packed a small bag, took my keys, and left before he got home. I didn't need to see his face when he opened it. I already knew what it would look like. He called me an hour later. I didn't answer. Then came the text. "What is this? Lena, come home. This is insane. Let's talk, please. You didn't have to do this on my birthday." I read them all. Deleted every one. Later that night, he showed up at my sister's place, where I had already moved something. He banged on the door like a madman until I finally stepped outside. "You blindsided me," he said. "You seriously think this is the way to end a marriage?" I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I said, "You ended it a long time ago. I just finally made it official." He started ranting about how we could fix things, how I was overreacting, how he didn't really cheat. It was just emotional. It didn't mean anything. I looked at him like he was a stranger. "I gave you every chance," I said. "You unplugged your commitment the night you took that ring off. I just returned the favor." He didn't have a response to that. Just stood there, jaw tight, chest heaving like someone had knocked the wind out of him. He thought I was weak. He thought I'd stay. He thought he had time. But I'd been planning this longer than he knew. And now, he could have the cake. I had the closure. She called me from a block number one afternoon, just a few days after the divorce papers landed. I didn't answer at first, but she left a voicemail. "You think you're clever?" Her voice snapped. "You ruined my career. You're sick." I could have ignored it, but I didn't. I called her back. When she picked up, she was already mid-rant, calling me names, blaming me for everything, saying she was going to sue me, like she had any idea what she was doing. I waited until she ran out of steam. Then I said, calm and steady, "Do you really think I'd go to all this trouble just because my husband cheated?" "Jason didn't just lie to me, Kelsey. He lied to you too." There was a pause. "What are you talking about?" she asked. I told her everything, piece by piece. I read her parts of Jason's messages, the ones he sent to another woman just weeks before he met Kelsey. I told her about the email account he used for his affairs, how he recycled the same compliments and excuses. I explained how he told the last woman he was separated, too. Just like he told Kelsey. I didn't yell. I didn't insult her. I just told her the truth. By the time I was done, she was quiet. "He said you were crazy," she finally said, voice smaller. "That you'd threatened to hurt yourself. That you were obsessed with controlling him." I almost laughed. He always says that. That way, no matter what the woman finds out, it's never his fault. There was a long silence. Then she said, "I had no idea." "I know," I said. "I didn't come for you because you were with him. I came for you because you were helping him lie." We hung up after that. I thought that was the end of it. But the next day, I got a message from a private account. It was Kelsey. She had forwarded me screenshots of messages Jason sent her the same week he took off his ring. The exact timeline I needed to tighten my case. "I'm not protecting him anymore," she wrote. "Use whatever you want." I didn't reply right away. But I smiled. Jason had fooled us both. Played both sides. Told her I was unstable and told me she was just a friend. But now she saw it too, the pattern, the lies, the manipulation. She wasn't my enemy anymore. We weren't rivals. We were co-conspirators. Kelsey sent everything. Screenshots of texts, emails, even a few voice messages Jason left her when he was drunk. He said things like, "My wife's clueless, and I'm only staying married for tax reasons." Real charming stuff. She also sent a few messages where he bragged about using company funds for client dinners that were really hotel stays. One message even had the name of a fake client he used to cover up an overnight with. It was the kind of detail that people in suits and HR departments don't ignore. We didn't need to make it flashy. Just careful. We created a shared folder. Every message was labeled, dated, organized by name and place. I wrote a clean timeline, just facts, no emotion. Kelsey added notes in her own handwriting, confirming what she knew and when. It was professional, cold, almost boring. Then I printed it all out. One copy went in an envelope, addressed to Jason's HR director. Anonymous, of course. The digital version went to 2 local gossip forums and a private Facebook group that hosted whispers about shady professionals in the city. We didn't post anything directly. We gave it to someone who lived for drama and let her run wild with it. Within 48 hours, the whole mess started spreading. People love screenshots. People love scandal even more. By Monday morning, I heard Jason was pulled into a mandatory meeting with the partners. Someone on the inside said the firm was investigating possible misuse of company resources and conduct violations. By Wednesday, he was put on leave until further notice. He called me that night. I didn't answer. Then he tried a long email, full of excuses and questions. He claimed this was all some coordinated attack, said it was probably internet trolls or a jealous ex. He didn't even know where to start defending himself. I didn't respond, because that would have made me look guilty. Instead, I stayed silent. No posts, no texts, no gossip. I just lived my life. Calm, clean, quiet. His friends began fading away too. A few of them messaged me to say, I had no idea what he was doing. I'm so sorry. Others just unfollowed him online and left it at that. He was unraveling. Alone. The man who used to control every conversation couldn't explain his way out of this one. He didn't even know where the leak started. And the best part? My name was never mentioned once. Jason didn't leave our house. He was forced out of it. Once the firm placed him on leave, his income stopped. And without income, the credit cards dried up. The second account he secretly opened? I shut it down. It was still under our shared financial umbrella, thanks to a mistake he made during setup. He tried to get a lawyer, but the one he wanted a big retainer up front. Jason couldn't pay it. And since I had already filed, and the house was in my name from the beginning, there wasn't much he could do. So he moved in with his parents. Back to his childhood bedroom. Back to the floral bedsheets and baseball trophies. 38 years old and crawling back to mom and dad. I sold the house 2 weeks later. Quiet deal, fast closing. The realtor was discreet. I never listed it publicly, just reached out to someone I trusted, told them I needed it gone. No open houses, no signs, just paperwork. It sold faster than I expected. He didn't even get a chance to say goodbye to it. Not that he deserved one. He found out through a forwarded notice, one he wasn't even supposed to receive any. He emailed me in a panic, asking why I hadn't told him, demanding answers. So I sent him one final reply. It was short, just one screenshot. A picture of our old smart home admin panel, the dashboard I had set up years ago. Every section, lights, locks, cameras, power, marked with a small red dot. Offline, disconnected, dead. At the bottom I wrote, looks like you're still in the dark. No greeting, no sign-off, no explanation. I blocked his email after that. There was nothing else to say. He had unplugged everything that mattered long before I did. His promises, his respect, his loyalty. He left me behind when he took off his ring, when he lied, when he chose someone else and thought I wouldn't notice. But I noticed, and I remembered. And when I finally shut the lights off on his life, I made sure he knew one thing. He didn't just lose me. He lost everything I ever gave him. People ask me sometimes if I regret it. They say things like, wow, that was cold, or you really went all the way, huh? A few ask if I ever think about giving him a second chance. Others say I should have just left quietly, taken the high road. But here's the thing no one wants to admit. The high road is lonely, and it rarely leads anywhere satisfying. I don't regret a single thing I did. I didn't go looking for revenge. I wasn't sitting around plotting like some cartoon villain. I just wanted the truth. I wanted him to look me in the eyes and admit what he did. I wanted to know I wasn't crazy, that the distance, the silence, the lies, I didn't imagine them. But he never gave me that. He didn't confess. He didn't apologize until he got caught. And even then, it wasn't about what he did. It was about what he lost. So I did what I had to do. I took back control. I didn't throw his clothes out the window or scream in public. I didn't key his car or break dishes. I used the same tools I always had, my brain, my patience, and the quiet systems he never bothered to understand. I turned off the power. I crashed his lies. I erased him piece by piece. And you know what? It worked. Not because he suffered, though he did, but because I finally felt like me again. Not the version of me he tried to shrink. Not the wife who smiled through. The real me. The sharp one. The one who built things, fixed things, ran circles around his life while he played the role of the golden. I didn't want to ruin his life. I just wanted him to see it. See what he tossed aside. See how everything around him only worked because I made it work. And once I left, it all stopped. He took off his wedding ring like it was just jewelry. Like it meant nothing. Like it was too heavy to wear for a night. I reminded him it was a contract. And I'm really, really good at closing contracts. So no, I don't regret it. I sleep just fine. Maybe even better now.
Hi besties. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe.